are going to stand up for a minute and get our minds kind of thinking about math for a little bit. I'm going to give you guys, I know you've been iLearn testing. I know, I get it. And so your brains are kind of tired the last couple of weeks. But we're going to do a math problem that's going to look similar probably to some of the math problems you've seen on iLearn. So I need everybody to stand up. Right where you're at. We're just going to make a little circle kind of around. Let's go around this area. So just kind of get to the outsides of your tables. Gentlemen, let's go.
Push your chairs in, please, so people can get past.
So we don't trip over them, please. Thank you. All right, you guys kind of move closer a little bit. All right, I want us to kind of take a look up here. This is just to get our minds warmed up and be thinking about math, because here's the thing. Math is really just patterns. So I want us to look up here, because if we see some patterns in this, which is what we're going to focus on right now, then our brain is starting to think mathematically. Okay, so I want you to take a look up here. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think on your own, and then I'm going to have some of you share out which one of these figures does not belong. So you see the four shapes, the four objects on the screen. Take a look. Stand up, please. Thank you. Which one of those does not belong? Let me give you 30 seconds to kind of think about it. There's no right or wrong answer. This is just to get your brain thinking about patterns, because math is patterns. So take a look. Which one of those shapes does not belong? And I want you to think about why. So take just a quick second here. All right, I'd like 4 of you guys to share out. Go ahead. You had something. Go ahead, take a look. Which one does not belong and why?
The bottom right one.
Speak up.
Bottom right.
Okay, why does this one not belong? So you're saying this one right here. Why?
Because it doesn't have 4 sides.
Ooh, good. Okay, can we all give him 2 claps on 2? 1, 2. Oh, that was kind of weak. That was kind of weak. Let's try that again. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2. Yeah, because that one does not have 4 sides. I love your thinking. Who else has a different way of thinking or a different way of looking at this? Who else has something else? You look like you had a thought.
I was going to say
The same thing? Awesome. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that one, like if like I tilted
Which
my
one?
head. That one. Yeah, that one.
This one?
I
The
tilted
third
my
shape?
head and I'm like, oh, these are all squares, and then I just looked at that one.
Ooh, okay. So these 3, and this is a great way of saying it, because you're noticing the same pattern that he noticed, but just in a little bit different way. You're noticing these are all rectangles, right? 4 sides. Great word, great use of that vocabulary word. What else? What else do you see? Come on, think beyond just the obvious. What else might make one of those shapes not belong? 2 more.
if it wasn't that one, then the top right, because it's the only one that's shaded.
Oh, yes, I love that. Can we give him, you guys know how to give fireworks?
No.
Oh, okay, so everybody, you all know how to snap? So we're gonna go clap, up, snap, fireworks. All right, let's try it. Let's give him fireworks on 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice job. So that one is shaded in, so it doesn't belong. What else? Let's hear one more. What's one more pattern that you see? Keep looking, keep looking. Yeah, go ahead.
That one looks just like the one on the left bottom if you really tilt your head to the side.
Nice. So these 2, so you're kind of seeing a pattern of 2 here. These 2 would be the only squares, right? Then we have a rectangle up here. And what shape is this? How many sides does it have? 5 sides, okay? All right, so you're thinking mathematically. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you guys a problem, and we're going to work this problem out. You guys see this paper around the room. All right, I'm going to give your group, I'm going to put you into some groups, and I'm going to give your group a problem. I want you to mathematically think about this problem. There's multiple ways that you can go about attacking this problem, okay? And I'm going to put you guys in your groups, and then I want you to, we'll read the problem together, and then you're going to get started. Actually, I'm going to show you the problem right now. So I want first, before I show you the problem, I want us to think about what it means to be a successful group, okay? We're not going to read all of this because I came up with this. We would normally come up with this together, but I want you to think about what it means to be a successful group, and that's over here, gentlemen. Look over here. Openness to others' ideas. So we need to be listening because every voice in this classroom matters. So we want to make sure we're listening to everybody's voice and being respectful to what they have to say. We're going to be respectful of others, actively inclusive. That means that we're listening and we're including everyone in your groups. You're going to be working in groups of 3 today, all right, in the next 10 minutes. you're going to share the marker, so I don't want to see any marker hogs. You're going to get one marker for your group, okay? And I want you to share that marker to work out this problem. And let's make sure we're being encouraging, gentlemen. Let's make sure that we're being encouraging as we work together. So that means I want to hear positive talk in your groups. I don't want to hear negative talk or negative self-talk even as well, okay? All right, so this is the problem. I'm getting kind of hungry because it's almost lunchtime for us. Lenarion, wait, where's Lenarion? Is he in here today?
Good morning, teachers.
Nice.
All of our
So,
eighth graders
all right, we're going to pause just a second for this announcement.
Should be back in their classes. They were heading back to their fifth period classes. Thank you.
All right, so Lenarion bought 4 sub sandwiches for a birthday party. When's your birthday, Lenarion? October, okay, so we got a while to plan for this. It must be a really big party. If each person will eat 2/3 of a sandwich, ooh, so that should tell you right away we're working with fractions. Awesome. How many people can Lenarion feed? By the way, does anybody know who this is? Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put you in your groups. I want you to first reread the problem together in your group and think about it, all right? So you 3 are going to go right here. I would put your paper on the table. All right, so here you go. Who am I giving the marker to? I'll give it to you. All right, you 3 are going to work right here. Let's have you 3 come on over here. You guys are going to work right here. Come on. And remember, these are just our groups for right now. We'll do a different group later. You 3 are going to work right here. Come on over. And I'm going to have you 3 work up here at this table, and then you're going to be a group of 2 over there, okay? You're over here. All right, you 3 are going to be up here. So move your paper up here. All right, so what I'd like you to do, take a look at the problem again and start thinking about how you're going to approach this problem, and I want you to visually show this problem on your paper, and I'm going to come around and check in with your groups, and we're going to be reporting out. So I'm going to give us about 8 minutes here. I want you to see what you can do with this problem, reread the problem, and let's see what we get. All right, guys, where are we going to start? What do you think? Oh, so I would write that down. Ladies, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Can I give you a marker? Cool. So use the marker and kind of get some thoughts on there. It's not right or wrong at this time, okay? All right, guys, what do you think so far? Why don't we stand up so we can all kind of make sure we're focused? Can you stand up for me, buddy? All right, so what do we know in the problem? Okay, so we know there's fractions. What else? Push this in so we have okay, so let's write some stuff down. Talk together a little bit about this problem and what's happening. Okay, let's break down what is the problem even asking at this point, okay? Hey guys, how's it going? All right, so what do we know so far? How are we going to start this?
We need to feed each person people.
How many people?
We need to figure that out by doing.
Okay, so that's what I would write down. How many people? So that's what the question's asking, right? How many people? So write that down because that's what we want to try to get to. And then I would start with what do we know in the problem? Okay? All right, guys, what do we have? Ooh, I love your visual. So this is the sandwich, and you broke it up into how many equal parts? So I noticed that you drew out a sandwich, right? And how many parts did you divide it into?
Right now it's only
2 parts. So, there you go. Okay, so 3 parts. So we're getting there, right? So we know 2/3. You broke the sandwich up into 3 equal parts, right? So what else do we know that might help us get a step further? There you go. What are your thoughts? Share it out.
in my opinion, 2/3 if you do 6, you draw another sandwich. So like another, so like you do
Oh, there you go. So how many sandwiches do you have total? 4. So do 4 of those, like you were saying. Exactly. So just draw out 4 of those. All right, guys. Ooh. What's happening here? Talk me through this. 4 over 1. Okay. And what do these numbers represent? Why did you choose to put those there? Ooh, interesting. Okay, so you just went right into the division. How do we know it's division now? So you said something, go ahead. Because they're even or equal parts, right? What else? Say what he said. Okay. Can you do this? But then I'd also like to see you maybe draw this out visually so that we can prove that and kind of see what's happening, okay? Excuse me. I love this work, guys. Great job. All right, guys. What do we have here? Okay, so what does this represent? Multiplication. All right, so we're multiplying 2/3 by 1/4.
So it's actually
Okay.
2/3 divided by 4.
Ooh, oh, so let's write that down because I want to make sure we don't lose track of that thought, okay? And why did you choose to do that? So 2/3 divided by 4. And why did you choose to do 2/3 divided by 4 alone?
Because if it's asking how many people you can feed, how are you gonna find how many people you can feed without with just multiplying?
I love that. Yeah, so write some stuff down and then maybe I want to see you visually show this and visually show what it's going to look like to do this problem. Because these numbers are small enough that we could probably visually draw this out too. Just to kind of show to make sure we're on the right track with this, okay? All right, what do we got over here? This. 2/3 with the 4 subs. Yes, that's exactly right. Okay. So, why are we doing this stuff? And how many people are eating the subs? That's what we're trying to figure out, right? So what are you starting with? What do we have in the problem? So we have 4 subs. Can we write that down just to make sure we don't lose track of that? And then what's happening with those 4 subs? It's going to get eaten, right? Because we're hungry. What kind of subs are they? That one. All right. So what's happening then? They're going to get eaten. But what's happening with them? And what are we trying to figure
Each
out?
person eats 2/3 of the sandwich. 2/3.
So let's write down 2/3. So each person is going to 2/3 is going to be eaten by each person. And then what's the question asking? How many people are they going to be able to feed with those 4 subs? So make sure we're sharing the marker, guys. Make sure we're standing up and making sure that we're focused on this, okay? Oh, guys, I love this visual. Okay, so what are we doing here? We've got 4 what?
No.
The 4 subs. What are you doing here?
How much people ate?
Okay. All right, so start with that. And how much are people eating? Okay, so if you shade in 2/3, that's going to represent what? How many? 1 person, right? So that's what you've got to need to visually. So keep going with that thought. I like where you're going. There you go. So draw it out visually. Let's draw 4 subs. What would that look like? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 4 or 5 more minutes. I'm seeing some great work. Let's just pause for a quick second, guys. Let's pause. Eyes on me, please. Eyes on me, please. I'm still waiting on 3 people. Eyes on me. Thank you. All right, I want everybody to kind of take a look over here. I'm gonna point this group out because I want you to see what they're doing visually. You guys are absolutely on the right track. But I want you to notice they're starting to visually draw out what's happening. And I see a couple of other groups that are visually drawing this out. Awesome job. I want you to visually show what's happening in this problem and see if we can get to a solution. Okay, we've got about 4 more minutes. Let's see what we can come up with. All right, keep going. All right, talk me through what you got. Are these the people before they get their food? Like they're hangry? Okay, well, all right, what else?
They just circled the ones that we
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So your sandwiches, can I see? Here, I'm going to use this marker just for a quick second. Can I write on yours? So your sandwiches are here, correct? These are your original sandwiches. And you divided that. I love that, you guys. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. You've got 4 minutes. I want you to think about, is there an equation, a mathematical equation that represents what's happening? Because you're on the right track, and I agree with your answer. Is there an equation that can show that? All right, talk about it. Talk about it. See what you can come up with. All right, guys, what do we got? Okay, how do we get there? Go ahead, both of you can share out. How'd you get there?
So if we got this first, which 4 times
Okay.
4 over 1 times 3 over 2 equals 12 over 2, which is equals 6 over 1, and then that can be
Sure. Now, this is a lot of math, right? And I agree with your process. Is there a way to visually show what's happening? So you've got 6 people, but how did you get to those 6 people? What did we start with?
We started with 4.
So draw out 4 subs, right? And then show what's happening in this math, because this is a lot of mathing, right? Show what's happening in this to show how you got there, okay? And because you're on the right track. All right, guys, what do we have? Ladies and gentlemen, we have about 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. I love it. Okay. And so you're shading in what? 2/3 at a time. Okay. And what does each 2/3 represent? 1 person. So can you visually show that to make sure that we don't lose track of that? And then, again, great thinking, and I love your process. Is there an equation that can show how you got there? Okay, so keep thinking that out, okay? All right, how are we doing, guys? How are we doing? How did we get? 8 fours. What does that represent?
It would. 2, 4, 6. Just like they each other like that. And we have 4 subs.
I think he meant 2.
And then we have
So these are your 4 subs, right?
Yep.
And how many parts did you divide them into?
3.
3 or 8? So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3.
Wait, no. I have to go that out for a reason because I messed up.
So
I'll just say no.
all of them are really supposed to look like this. Like this.
Yeah, supposed to like
Okay, so here's the question I have. What are we doing with this leftover that wasn't eaten or wasn't used up in this particular set?
No, time to be quiet.
But, no, that's okay. I need you to talk about that and think about how you're getting there. So if this is 1/3 though, right? How much of a sub is each person eat? How much of a sub is each person eat? 1/3? How much? Look back at our problem.
I know.
Up, somebody went forward a slide. Let me go back and I want you to look at the problem again.
So, well,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. We are going to wrap this up. Here's what I want us to do. I would like everyone to quietly and slowly walk on over here. And I want to show you this group's work, and I'm going to have them talk through what they did. Come on up, guys. Come on up. And then we're actually going to go around and look at everybody's work individually And we're going to leave them a little bit of feedback. So I'm going to give you guys some sticky notes. So we're going to do that in just a minute. But let's have this group. Come on up, guys. We're standing up, please. Take a look at what they did. All right, guys. What do we have here? Talk us through. Who's gonna be the spokesperson? That's okay. Who's gonna be brave? You guys got this.
These are our sandwiches, right?
Hold on, speak up a little bit louder. Gentlemen, make sure we're listening so we can see their process, because here's the thing. This is why I want to show you their process. Because their process was a little bit different than some of the other groups. You all kind of approach this in a little bit different way, and that's the awesome thing about math, is that there's no right or wrong way to approach a problem like this. Okay? So we're going to take a look at this, and go ahead and talk us through. Sorry for interrupting.
So basically, this is like the sandwiches, right? And then it says that each person needs like 2/3 of it. So we like cut them into 3 pieces, I guess.
Okay.
And then we like.
So their slash, can I add something? So their slashes just represent a third, correct? And then they kind of circled 2 of those thirds. Keep going.
And then we circled 2 because we had to circle 2. And then we did it all across 2. And then we had like 4 left over. And then we realized that we could circle these 2 and then these 2 together.
To make sure we didn't have just leftover subs hanging out there. And what did you guys get for a solution, gentlemen? Make sure we're listening, please. Being respectful.
6/12 or 1.
6/12. And what does the 6/12 represent?
Like how many pieces there were and then how many.
So you guys came up with he could feed how many people? How many people can he feed at his party? And you got that, like what you just explained, right? All right. Let's give them fireworks on 2. Ready? 1, 2. Nice. All right. Great job, group. All right. We can go ahead and stop that because it will definitely